Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. And on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of November 2nd, 2025. Congratulations to podcast listener Kimberly Dutcher. She has won the drawing for the podcast feedback survey. I am going to keep this survey open and select another winner before the end of the year. So if you meant to give feedback and didn't get a chance, there is still time. Check out the link in the show notes. I'm so excited for the 2026 Astrology Predictions Event. Sarah El-Harar, Tiffany Harelik, and myself get together annually to talk about what will be coming up in the astrology in terms of eclipses, retrogrades, and planetary sign changes. 2026 is a huge year where there's going to be big collective shifts in society and new beginnings seeding. The event will take place on November 11th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. If you cannot make it live, you can get the recording. I hope you will join us. It's an interactive event. It's beloved by our communities. It's a highlight of the year. So find out what's coming up in 2026 for the collective and get some insights on what that will mean in your own personal life. Register now at the link in the show notes. The theme of this week is Dead Man's Switch, and there are three things I want you to think about as you navigate this week. The first up is that Mars, the planet of action, drive, and assertion, will enter the sign of Sagittarius from November 4th through 14th. This is a sign and a planet combination that brings action and adventure. And what Mars is going to do is move from 29 degrees of Scorpio to 0 Sagittarius. This is a huge energetic shift. Mars is at home in Scorpio, where it can take actions beneath the surface, get together with co-conspirators to do strategic things to bring success, but also do underworld connections in order to do the obscene and the unspeakable. We move from secretive, submerged intensity into fiery, freedom-seeking action. I just got the image of a sex trafficking ring being busted, where the police bust into their den, and it may be online, and start making arrests. It's yippee-ki-yay MFer energy. This transition can also feel like surfacing. A submarine surfaces into open air and makes a fiery announcement that it's here. You see it coming out. It's fast. It's bold. It's restless. This is a great time to do some physical activity. Think about adventure, laughter, and spontaneity. Sagittarius is mutable fire. It's enthusiastic and dynamic. It's ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is in the sign of Cancer. So I feel like protection of the people you care about. You're going to think globally. Sagittarius is a sign of long distance travel, foreign places. Cancer energy is about the family and the tribe. So you're going to think globally, but act locally. This is why I think I got that image of busting up sex trafficking ring or information coming out about it, more of it. Now, I'm recording this on Tuesday, October 28th, so I don't know what has happened. I record the podcast early because I have a podcast producer, the amazing Jen Brown, who needs time to get the podcast ready. The first aspect Mars makes is an opposition to Uranus retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So this is sudden disruptions, verbal outbursts, shocking news, or literal explosions. You may notice a deep desire within yourself for freedom. It's a great time to take a walk if you start to get overheated internally. Do what you can to avoid impulsive reactions. Notice if you have small children or pets, if you see a difference in their behavior. After Mars opposes Uranus retrograde, the next aspect it makes is a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. So that can be used to channel this energy into focused power. Sextiles are opportunities. And this is excellent energy to take some strategic action that involves courage and transformation in group dynamics. So you may get great ideas on how to help a group of people collectively. Maybe you're inspired. As I'm recording this, Jamaica is suffering a devastating hurricane. In the United States, the administration has cut off SNAP benefits to 40 plus million Americans. So there are huge groups of people who could really use some help. And this Mars in Sagittarius, you may be desiring to help people in a foreign land. You can use this energy to craft initiatives that are bold and serve the collective. Now, this also is war energy. So people may be going to battle. Desperate people may be doing some criminal activities. So really be aware of your surroundings. This energy is really aligned with the Die Hard movie, where Bruce Willis plays John McClane. He's got this Mars and Sagittarius energy. He's partial to Roy Rogers. Sagittarius is cowboy energy. He's quick thinking, humorous, independent. He goes to war against Hans and Nakatomi Tower, and he remains graceful, wisecracking under pressure. It's one of my favorite all-time movies, action movies. I will stand on the hill that Die Hard is the best action movie ever made. I don't care. I've been laughed at about that, but that's my personal opinion. You may expect internal restlessness. People will be making bold statements. Things will shift suddenly. Move your body to release tension. Watch out for explosive words or actions. And after the shockwave of Uranus, there can be personal empowerment. Watch out for power lines. Don't play around with electricity. If you're changing light bulbs or things like that, make sure everything is turned off. Do not make any shortcuts when dealing with electricity because this could be dangerous energy. The theme of the episode, Dead Man Switch, comes from the imagery of Mars and Sagittarius opposite Uranus retrograde in Gemini. It's like a runaway train where the operator is incapacitated. Systems have been put in place, fail-safes, for trains and subways and some industrial machines where the operator must continually press or hold in order to keep the machine operating. If they release it because they pass out or have some kind of health issue, the system automatically cuts power and applies the brakes. It's literally to prevent a runaway vehicle if the operator becomes a dead man. I think it's really interesting in tech and security as well because there's often a digital fail-safe. There's a trigger to have some kind of action. And with things like Bitcoin and crypto, this refers to passing the system for the wallet if someone dies or disappears. With Bitcoin, you've got some kind of code and cannot get the money unless you have the private key. So the person dies and the switch will be sent to their heirs. When I was writing it, I was thinking about orders of succession in a corporation or a country when the leader is gone. So it'll be interesting to see how this shows up. The energy, also the movie Speed with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves brings to mind the dead man's switch. But what they did is they overran it by putting something in place to keep the bus moving. So that came to my mind. It will be interesting to see how this shows up. Also, someone working on electricity and not making sure all the power is down could lead to electrocution, a Uranus thing. This would be a great use of astrology in corporations. Power companies could have on their calendars days where they have a triple checking person for the line people to ensure safety when there's a higher risk of someone being electrocuted.
Your cosmic advantage begins with the Wise Skies digital calendar. With descriptions for every planetary and lunar event, all levels of astrology enthusiasts can enjoy the calendar on any device and now in many languages. With this superpower in your back pocket, you will be fully equipped to understand the astrological weather any day of the week. My good friend and collaborator, Tiffany Harelik, creates this calendar every year and I use it daily. I highly recommend it. Use my coupon code for $10 off. The code is ABC2025. Let the universe have your back with the Wise Skies digital astrology calendar.
The next thing I want to make you aware of is that we have a full moon at 13 Taurus on Wednesday. The full moon will light up the Taurus-Scorpio axis. The sun, which rules the leader and puts a spotlight on things, is in the sign of Scorpio, which rules shared assets, debts, emotional bonds. The moon, which rules the people, is in Taurus, where it's exalted. And it has a special seat at the table. Taurus rules our values, resources, money. What sustains us physically? It's fixed earth. Earth signs are related to health and wealth. And fixity is stability. We may be seeing a spotlight put on the wealthy gorging themselves with food and just enjoying the fruits of their gains, some of which are ill-gotten. This is Marie Antoinette, Versailles energy. Let them eat cake while we eat caviar. With the SNAP benefits being cut, many people in the United States, there's something like 40 million people who rely on food assistance, whether they're seniors or people with children or disabilities or fallen on hard times. Some people are feeling a big pinch of scarcity. Questions will come up about who has enough and who doesn't. Food banks, churches, charities, other religious organizations are going to be under major strain. States like California and New York are trying to bridge the gap with some state funds to prevent an absolute catastrophe of hunger in the richest country in the world. I'm personally donating extra money to Meals on Wheels, my local food bank, and local organizations that are doing critical work to support people who are suddenly without resources. If you have extra time or money, consider donating locally, because this full moon, we're really going to see things surfacing about people struggling to have the basic needs met. People are going to be examining their budgets, trying to figure out what is necessary versus what is a luxury with this full moon in Taurus. In medical astrology, Taurus rules the neck and the throat. It's a great time to do neck stretches, vocal exercises. You may hear some amazing, beautiful singing by someone who sounds like a beautiful angel. I'm also getting the theme of the sirens who Odysseus had himself strapped to the mast of the ship so that he could hear their music without being driven crazy. This brings in the Scorpio and the Taurus, because Scorpio can be that psychological manipulation to get someone to come near them so that they could take their assets. Be really careful about scams. These scammers are getting so clever on trying to trick people with links and things to steal your money. Taurus energy is patient, conservative, and practical. The shadow side is stubborn, indulgent, possessive, resistant to change. Notice if you're feeling a big desire to eat sweets or just extra stuff. On the high road, this is a wonderful time to really appreciate life's simple pleasures. Can you think about perhaps not wasting money on trivialities and saving for the future? The moon's next aspect after the full moon is a sextile to Jupiter. This can bring optimism, generosity, and community spirit. I am expecting uplifting stories about people helping each other. Now, there's also going to be stories about unexpected and sudden violence, an increase in robberies potential, especially that Mars opposite Uranus aspect is separating, but we're still feeling the echoes of whatever sudden outbursts and shocks happened. And Mercury is out of bounds. It's getting ready to slowing down to station retrograde. So conversations may be heated, information confusing, people's tempers may be short. Mercury rules the hands. Watch out for pickpockets, especially if you are traveling. We will see the best and worst of humanity under this full moon. People are furious. They're getting loud. This Sagittarius energy where Mercury and Mars had moved into is very loud. The moon phase family, which is these 27-month cycles where the moon will be activating your chart in the same place over a 27-month cycle. These are great for tracking. Not everyone, you will notice something in your life, but you may, especially if you have any planets or points around 15 degrees of the fixed signs, in particular Taurus. There was a new moon on May 7th of 2024, where the sun and the moon were both at 18 Taurus. Look back in your journal. What was seated around that time? Give 2 weeks on either side. At the first quarter moon, the sun had advanced into Sagittarius, but the moon was hitting the same point in your chart. Both of them are at 16 degrees of Taurus on February 5th, 2025. Maybe there was something about resources related to a group of friends or community that came up, or values, like you realized there was tension between your values and some other people's values. Could be something that came up around this time. Now we're at the full moon where the sun is in Scorpio, the moon is in Taurus on November 5th. They're both at 13 degrees. All is illuminated on this axis of pleasure, power, and resources. 9 months from now, there's going to be a last quarter moon where there may be some lessons learned. The sun will be in Leo and the moon in Taurus, both at 13 degrees on August 5th, 2026. You may realize some pride about how you've managed your resources, or there's some tension there about your personal values, but you get some kind of clarity around it. Or you may splurge and buy yourself something nice that you've been saving up for a long time. The last thing I want to make you aware of is that Venus will enter the sign of Scorpio from November 6th through 30th. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, money, and values, moves from her throne at home in Libra as Venus moves to 29 Libra to keep the peace, make things work for both of you, trying to find win-win solutions. It doesn't work. You move from grace of Venus in Libra into the grit, Venus in Scorpio. There is a huge tone shift. Venus is in the sign of her detriment in Scorpio, exiled as far away from home as she can be. This could be get your coat, get your hat, call Tyrone, and get out kind of energy where somebody has had just about enough. Someone not pulling their own weight in a relationship and they are done. It's like moving out of a grand ballroom to a candlelit basement. The President of the United States, people are furious. He has torn down part of the east wing of the White House in order to create this huge ballroom. But we all know what's really going on. He is following Mustache Man's playbook to a T. He's solidifying his bunker underneath the White House. Mustache Man did the same thing. He had a bunker under a ballroom. He also created an ark. So people can't have money to feed their children, but the rich and the elite are going to have this massive grand ballroom being built. But think about Venus and Scorpio. Will there be some kind of plans leaked about the bunker? Venus and Scorpio is more intimate, secretive, and intense. There is themes of descent. Scorpio is fixed water, co-ruled by Mars and Pluto. It's intense, passionate, and all or nothing. The movie to watch is Black Widow. She mates and then she kills with Deborah Winger. That is a great classic movie. The tone shifts from charming to deeply sexual, possessive, or jealous. You may see visions of really magnetic, sexual, and a little intimidating women. Angelina Jolie has this energy, although she doesn't have Venus in Scorpio. I'll take your man if I feel like it, and I won't even have a moment regret. You may start a lighthearted chat with your partner while Venus is in Libra, and then it turns to a deep emotional reckoning when Venus is in Scorpio. Whose number is this in your phone? What do you think of Sally? He thinks Sally is fine as wine and your emotions are deep, or he just says something about, isn't Sally looking good in that dress? And you get this internal upset. Now, there can be a collective shift from abundance to survival, that image of the wealthy gorging themselves on lobster, where other people are losing food assistance. The Statue of Liberty is the ultimate Venus in Libra imagery. This beautiful, graceful woman, a beacon of light. The inscription at the base is very Venus in Scorpio, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The shadow is a fear of loss, scarcity, and betrayal. The first thing it does when Venus enters Scorpio is square Pluto in Aquarius. This is group debt energy, a financial reckoning. There may be market shocks, collective financial stress, and tension between relationships. There may be some shocking secrets coming out about a well-known couple or countries involved in relationships where we see the money trail of deception. If you are embarking on a new journey, experiencing a major life event, feeling stuck, trying to make a difficult decision, or just looking to make positive changes, astrology can provide life-changing insights. There are several ways to work with me. You can come for a 60 or 90-minute astrology consultation depending on your needs. Engage in longer-term cosmic success coaching where we work together on a 3-month basis to help you overcome blocks, improve your life satisfaction, build better relationships, accomplish your career goals, and understand yourself better using the tool of astrology. Or mystic mentoring if you're an aspiring astrologer and want help with chart analysis techniques. Go to astrologybyceleste.com to check out my offerings. If you have any questions, you can email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com. On Sunday, the word of the day is grief. We have the gibbous moon at 25 Pisces at 12:29 a.m. Pacific time. The gibbous moon phase is the one right before it's full. It lasts 3.5 days, just like all the other moon cycles. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign. There's a sense of something ending. I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 29th. Hopefully the devastation from Hurricane Melissa has calmed down and people are surveying the damage and figuring out how they're going to rebuild. Hopefully this is not new storms, but the moon meets Saturn retrograde at 25 Pisces and then Neptune retrograde at 29 Pisces. So there's a theme of people grieving. The water can be emotional, or people could just be a little quiet and somber and just a little bit down about the collective suffering that some people are under. For people who are reliant on food assistance, they could be feeling very emotional at this time. The moon moves into Aries at 7:39 a.m. Pacific time. Aries is cardinal initiating fire. Someone could get an idea, get some pep in their step, and start moving forward with a plan, or get a call from someone offering assistance. Venus in Libra is square Jupiter in Cancer on this day. The Venus and Jupiter are the benefics. Now, the square is tension. There can be an internal tension about, do I call my rich cousin and ask, can I have a loan to get myself through this time where my job isn't here? Something like that could be coming up. And ask, believe, receive is what I would say for people. But this could also be a wealthy person just like showing off their bling, which is really inappropriate for this time. Venus is at home in Libra, and its Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. I wrote down when Jennifer Lopez got that big yellow diamond from Ben Affleck, which was really gaudy, and this would not be a time to show that off. Blood diamonds is also something I wrote down. There could be this exaltation with Jupiter being exalted. It could be this wealthy person who has a sense of arrogance and is not paying attention to the suffering around other people. Or maybe it's like huge donation someone gives. It doesn't have to be negative, but there's some kind of tension. Someone really wealthy could feel like, oh my God, I have to be more generous. On Monday, the word of the day is Wonderland. Mars in Scorpio is trine Neptune and Pisces, both at 29 degrees. Now, this imagery is very magical and elusive. It could be Neptune and Pisces is like a dream world, but Mars in Scorpio makes me think about this could be a sexual wonderland. Maybe something's coming out about Epstein Island and somebody who went there, and hopefully some karmic justice for the victims. There's this look of it all looks really beautiful, but underneath there's some difficulties going on in this wonderland. People can be feeling motivated to fight for their belief systems. With Mars trine Neptune, this is holy war energy, but it's in a trine. This could be amazing for artists, especially artists who use sharp tools, like a sculpture, like cutting away excess from a sculpture could be incredible. Venus on this day as well is making a quincunx to Saturn and Pisces. So it could be, I'm getting David, the image of David and that Venus in Libra and the Statue of Liberty. Some art piece could be something that's going on as well around this that people would be unhappy about. Yeah, it could be some kind of protest that people are doing on this day. On Tuesday, the word of the day is explosive. The Aries moon squares Jupiter and then opposes Venus. So people are feeling emotional. Jupiter's in the sign of Cancer. They may be feeling inspired, but there also could be anger welling up because Mars enters Sagittarius on this day. at 5 a.m. Mars in Sagittarius could be crusader energy, someone who is willing to fight for a belief system where they feel like it's worth taking action, voice heard. And then the moon moves into Taurus at 8:15 a.m. Pacific time. This could be like a fire breaks out and, ooh, what are my valuable things that I need to gather? Now, this fire is internal. Like somebody could be like, I've had enough of this. You bought that expensive handbag for $10,000 and we're having problems saving for a house. I'm out of here could be what this energy is. The Mars in Sagittarius. I'm out of here. Let me get my suitcase and put my valuables in it and go. And Mars is then opposite Uranus retrograde at 0 degrees. And the partner is saying, oh, I bought 10,000 handbags every few years. Why is it such a big deal now? We're in a time where there are a lot of endings which may be overdue. And the Taurus moon squaring Pluto in Aquarius, knowing that one partner thinks, oh my God, the economy's not going great. We really need to be saving. If the other partner is just ignoring that, it could be an explosive fight or a rupture. On Wednesday, the word of the day is possession. We have the full moon in Taurus at 13 degrees at 5:19 a.m. Pacific time. Full moons bring full illumination. Look at your chart. What house is Taurus in? That can give you information. The sun is shining from the opposite house. There is a spotlight coming in from the Scorpio area of your chart, Taurus area of your chart. What is your relationship with what you really value? What is most important to you? How are you managing your resources? Are you getting enough pleasure? Are you having sexual intimacy? These are the things that may be coming up to your conscious attention at this time. There is energy to get insights and understanding to make your own magic in order to expand what you have. The moon's next aspect is going to be a sextile, which is an opportunistic aspect to Jupiter. But it's a great time to release what's no longer serving you, to rethink about what you really value, what you really need. There are calls to not spend anything on Black Friday, especially at really big retailers, to take your money, shop small, shop locally, in order to make a statement about what the government is doing to people by taking away the ACA subsidies, taking away the SNAP benefits and more, and just giving more money to the wealthy. On Thursday, the word of the day is pitchforks. Mars in Sagittarius sextiles Pluto and Aquarius, both at 1 degree. Mars sextile Pluto is that pitchfork energy where people are on a crusade to bring more equity and fairness to a group of people, and they're mad. And when the Gemini moon starts at 7:20 a.m., they are loud. Gemini is an air sign. Air communicates, air connects, and then it meets Uranus. So people could be very motivated to protest, to demand that their voices are heard. And Venus in Libra is King Kong's Neptune and Pisces, both at 29 degrees. And this gives images of Venus rules for the United States, the executive branch. I really see their popularity sliding down because of what is going on. The people are very mad. The moon in Gemini is opposite Mars, and then Venus enters Scorpio at 2:39 p.m. Pacific time. So this could be a popular person having something illuminated that they've done that's deceptive. It could also be a big market correction in the stock market or the Bitcoin thing going on. People can be a little scared. They get news and they start acting a little impulsively. So pay attention to what is happening when Venus goes into Scorpio. We'll really be seeing this on Thursday. Venus moving from 29 Libra, where there's some crisis and decay, into Scorpio. This could also be a really famous person or couple getting into a fight in public, and people are like, oh my God, we thought everything was great with them. Or the rumors about the vice president's marriage. There could be something coming out about that. On Friday, the word of the day is hoarder. I get market turmoil. Skyfall was the song. Guillotine was almost the word. Uranus re-enters Taurus on this day, going backwards to 29 degrees of Taurus, a sign of resources, and there's unexpected upheaval with resources, some kind of sudden break. This happens at 6:19 p.m. Pacific time. And on this day, Venus in Scorpio is squaring Pluto in Aquarius. There's big Marie Antoinette, guillotine energy, the French Revolution. There could be big things going on in France. They're having a lot of turmoil about their society. There's too many old people who are retiring, and the country is under a lot of stress financially, but it could be somewhere else in the world. Yeah, the Gemini moon is squaring Saturn in Pisces. So this is intense energy where people are feeling under pressure. It could be windy and rainy and people being emotional. And Mercury is slowing down to station retrograde. So people are talking about the same story again and again could be happening with this. We know the president's health is not doing so great. So there could be a story about that. His ascendant is at 29 Leo. So as soon as Uranus moves back into Taurus, there could be something where he needs some kind of procedure. We've heard that he had an MRI. They don't do MRIs unless something is wrong. So this could be news about his fading health. On Saturday, the word of the day is nesting. This is a beautiful day to just stay in. The sun in Scorpio trines the North Node in Pisces, both at 16 degrees, listening to a symphony, beautiful music, haunting, Beethoven vibes. At 7:05 a.m., the moon moves into Cancer, where it is at home, where it can feel. You may just want to nest, put on your fluffy slippers, let the chaos of the world tune out, just be and eat something delicious, take a bath. These are the kinds of things you can do with the moon in Cancer. There may be a lot of rain outside, and it's a great time to have some cocoa and just nest. It's been a really busy week. Emotions may be a little frayed, and it's a great time to get some peace. Don't forget to sign up for the 2026 Astrology Predictions webinar. It's going to be fantastic. It's only $33. It's going to be something that you can utilize for the months to come around 2026. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories, or let me know how the daily themes are playing out for you. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.